Hello, hello, hello. Well, I'm glad that you could be a part of this meeting. This is an important meeting, and I am excited to be a part of it as well. Today, I will be talking to you about 10 ways that you can show kindness and courtesy. My name is Chinyere Helen Oluwatishemilore Njoku. I'm also known as Lady Helen of Helen's Corner. I'm sure some of you must have seen me a while ago, but again, I'm excited that I can bring you this message with the hope that it's going to inspire you to stay human, deploy your emotional intelligence, and also for you to know how to express and show kindness and courtesy. Now, let's get straight to it. I hope you're having a nice time at the program. Okay? All right. So I will start with this song. It's a song that many of you should know or do know, but I'm just going to sing the chorus and then I'll go into my message. And it goes like this. You've got to try a little kindness, show a little kindness, shine your light for everyone to see. And if you try a little kindness, then you'll overlook the blindness of the narrow-minded people on the narrow-minded streets. Again. You've got to try a little kindness, show a little kindness, just shine your light for everyone to see. And if you try a little kindness, then you'll overlook the blindness of the narrow-minded people on the narrow-minded streets. I'm sure most of you must have heard that very popular song. I think it was sung by either Dolly Parton or Lynn Anderson or someone else, but it's a country music that is very, very popular. And I thought to start by singing that song so that you have an understanding of what it is to be kind. You know, in the society we live in today, a lot of people overlook kindness. They feel, you know, I want to be seen, I want to be heard, I want to be the authority, I want to put the other person down. But that is not the way to live life. Life is such that we should show kindness to each other, because guess what? You never can tell when you will be in a tight situation and you need someone to show you some kindness and some level of love and charity. Especially in our secondary schools, we have a lot of, you know, young people there who are very playful and agile. And most times what happens is that we have situations where they carry out this act that we call bullying, where you bully your fellow student. What is bullying? Bullying is you not showing kindness and courtesy. Let's put it that way for simple understanding. But you see, when you deploy kindness and courtesy, then there will be no room for you to be a bully. There will be no room for you to be wicked. There will be no room for you to be unkind, but rather you would have opportunities to express kindness, love, and charitable works. You know, I came to understand that February 17th rather, is the National Show Kindness Day or Day of Kindness, right? And how many of us observe this day? Rather, what we have is Valentine's Day, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve. But such days should be such that should be celebrated all around the world. Now, having said that, I'm going to share with you some ways that you can show kindness and you can show love, simple acts of random kindness that you can exhibit that will make your relationship with other people thrive better, right? And I hope that these 10 ways that I'm going to share with you are ways that you will also implement at some point in your life. In fact, I want you to implement them this week. Whenever you hear this message, this week into the next week, try maybe one or two of them. Pick out two of them and say to yourself, I am going to work on doing this week. Whenever I have the opportunity, I'm going to try and show kindness and courtesy to people, right? So before I start, I want to ensure that you have your notepads ready and your pens or pencils out for you to take notes, because I'm going to be sharing quite a number of things with you that are going to be very, very helpful to you. All right? Are you ready? All right, let's go. Now, I'm going to start by defining kindness. And I have a definition that I wrote out here. So I'm going to read it out to you. And I want you to put down that definition. And it is this: kindness is a behavior marked by ethical characteristics, a pleasant disposition, and a concern and consideration for others. It is considered a virtue and is recognized as a value in many cultures and religions. I'll say that again. Kindness is a behavior marked by ethical characteristics, a pleasant disposition, and a concern and consideration for others. It is considered a virtue and is recognized as a value in many cultures and religion. So I ask you this question: what kind of culture do you have in your school? Do you have a culture that exemplifies what I have just read out now? Or do you have a culture in your school where students shout, they disrespect their teachers, they disrespect one another, they are not kind and courteous to each other? Ask yourself that question and answer it in your heart. Now, let's look at 10 ways that you can show or exhibit kindness. And when you exhibit kindness, you're also being courteous. The two go hand in glove, okay? All right, so I'm going to start with point number one. Number one way is for you to show respect to other people. Now, you know that they say respect is reciprocal. So when you respect your fellow students, you know that they are going to respect you because they're going to see you as a nice person. They're going to see you as a kind person. And usually what's going to happen is that they're going to reciprocate that behavior to you. But if you are someone that is always shouting and, you are very aggressive, guess what? Their own aggression is going to kick in and they are going to meet your aggression with their aggression. And guess what's going to happen? Friction. Friction that will lead to fights, frictions that will lead to misunderstandings, and that is not healthy. So number one, again, the number one way for you to show kindness and courtesy is for you to respect each other. Respect each other. All right? Now, number two way is always apologize when you have done something wrong. Ask yourself, the last time you offended someone, did you apologize? Now, you have to apologize. You have to find it in your heart to always be quick to apologize, especially when you are the one who has offended that other party. Now, for you to even show that you are a higher being, like Michelle Obama says, when they go low, you go high. There are cases where someone will offend you, but you will be the one to apologize so that peace reigns. How many of you are practicing this? I know it sounds very difficult, but trust me, it's doable. But let's start with you apologizing for the things that you do wrong. So if you have offended mommy or daddy or your friend at school or your teacher or any elderly person out there, guess what? You have an opportunity now that you're learning how to show kindness and courtesy. You have an opportunity to apologize. Look for that person, call them up, tell them I am sorry. There are three things that I was taught when I was growing up, and my mom and my dad ensured that we all did it as children, and we grew up now and we do it, without thinking about it, especially me. And it is this: you must be quick to saying these three things. Thank you. I am sorry. Excuse me. Thank you. I am sorry. Excuse me. These are simple ways of showing courtesy and kindness. So look for that person that you have offended and apologize to that person. And if there's someone who has offended you, go and forgive that person. Okay? All right. So point number 2 is always apologize when you do something wrong. Point number 3, when someone is having a conversation, do not interrupt them. A lot of us are very guilty about this, right? You know, when someone is talking, before the person finishes their statement, you just jump in and you say your thing without saying, excuse me, oh, can I say this? Oh, I have, or you raise your hand up to be acknowledged before you say or raise your points. So if you've been in the habit of doing that, you know that you're not showing kindness because you're disrespecting the other person. So when someone is speaking, you need to be quiet, listen to that person. And then if you have to say something, you either have your hands up or you say, excuse me, when the person has finished speaking. And you tell them, I have something to say. And then you say what you have to say. Now, doing this will avoid any friction or the other person thinking that you're disrespecting them by cutting them short while they're still speaking. All right? So point number 3 way to show kindness and courtesy is for you to always not interrupt someone. Have that respect of not interrupting someone when they are speaking. Let them finish saying what they have to say, and then you will have your chance to say your bit. You know, Victor, who is there with you right now, I learned this from him. The very first time I spoke to him, we were on the phone, I called him and we had a long, lengthy conversation. And one thing that struck me in that whole conversation was the fact that he kept quiet all the while I was speaking. In fact, from time to time, I had to ask him, hello, are you still there? Because he was very kind and courteous and respectful not to say anything until I finished what it is that I had to tell him. And I learned that, and for me, that made our relationship a bit even stronger than it was previously. Now, again, I didn't know him then, but he left a very remarkable impression on me that day. And I saw him to be someone who was very respectful and kind. And he has turned out to be that exactly, right? Okay, so let's move to point number 4. Point number 4 is this. When you change your plans, let other people know. When you change your plan, let other people know. You know, you may have an assignment to do, right? And someone told you, maybe your friend or your classmate told you, you know what, we're going to come to the classroom by this time. We will work on this assignment together and we'll get it ready for submission when it's supposed to be submitted. But maybe something happened along the line. You were not able to meet up that appointment. Guess what? Most times what happens is people just go ahead to do what they have to do and forget that they had an appointment with someone who may have been waiting for them at the time of the appointment and at the place of the appointment. Now, that is not being kind. That is not being courteous. What you need to do in that kind of situation is you need to call the person or reach out to the person to say, oh, you know what? I am sorry. I will not be able to meet this appointment. Is it possible that we reschedule our appointment to this day and at this time and at this place? Right? Now, that way, the person feels valued, that you valued them and you call them out of respect and courtesy to let them know that you will not be able to make that appointment. Now, what that does is that person respects you the more and sees you as a courteous, respectful, kind person. And they will want to do, to continue to be your friend or to work with you. But if you did the opposite, which is not tell them and you just don't turn up, that will hurt their feelings. That will show them that you do not respect them and that you're not a kind person. And you just may be a kind, respectful person, right? So you don't want to give the wrong impression to people concerning such a situation. So learn to tell people that whenever a situation changes, this is how we're going to go about it. And you have an agreement with that person, and then you move ahead. I hope this is very helpful. If it is, say, thank you. Okay, now we go to point number 5. I hope you are writing these points down and you are taking your notes, because this is a subject that should be taught in school more often. This way, we have students who graduate and come out to be respectful, kind, and courteous individuals. Not people who shout and are disrespectful and don't know how to be courteous to one another. We've got to learn how to be kind and courteous to one another, because the way the world is, we need more kindness. We need more love. We need more courtesy for us to be able to live in peace and harmony. Okay? All right, so we go to point number 5. Point number 5, and it is this: respect the needs of others in public. Now, what does this mean? Now, there are some people, for instance, well, let's say you just find yourself in a party situation, right? You go to a party, the music is playing, there are chairs, and most times at parties, you don't have enough chairs. And then someone stands up, maybe goes to the bathroom, and by the time they come back, someone else has occupied their seat. What do you think is going to happen? There's going to be a quarrel. Why? Because the other person disrespected and possibly did not ask, is there anybody on this seat? Though the seat is vacant, you should ask, is there anybody here? Is there somebody here? Is there anybody sitting on this seat? But most times what people do is they grab the seat and they just sit down. And then when they're told that there's someone there, they're like, oh, okay, but I did not see anything and I did not see anyone on the seat. That is disrespectful, because what's going to happen is the person who was sitting on the seat previously is going to come and you guys are going to have a quarrel. Not necessary. You can avoid all of that by being kind and respectful and courteous, especially when you're in public. Because one thing you don't want to do is quarrel, fight, and disrespect people in public. When you do that, what tends to happen is that they want to defend themselves, and then you find yourself quarreling in public, either physically fighting or insulting yourselves outside. And guess what? You never can tell who is watching you. Maybe your next employer, somewhere where you would write an application, the person was passing and they saw you fighting. And then when they see you at the place of interview, they'll be like, wasn't this the man that was fighting on the road the other day? Or wasn't it the woman that was insulting another woman in public? And once that happens, guess what? You're not going to get that job. You don't want that to happen. You want to always create a positive image of yourself and other people, especially in public, because you never can tell who you're going to meet in 6 months' time, 1 year's time, 5 years' time, in fact, even 20 years down the line. So you want to have a good reputation and build a reputation of someone who is kind, courteous, and has love and kindness for other people. Okay? So respect the needs of other people, especially when you're in public, right? All right, so let's go to point number 6. And point number 6 is this: never embarrass another person, either in public or in private. Now, in this case, I want you to put yourself on the hot seat. Imagine if you were the person who was being embarrassed. Would you be happy? No, nobody likes to be embarrassed in public. But some people, find it, um, find happiness in making other people embarrassed. It is not right. It is not right because you see, what you don't like to be done to you, you shouldn't do it to other people. That's the golden rule. Do unto others as you will want them to do unto you. But I'm going to add this, but do it first. You be the one to show other people how you want them to treat you. You don't want to go around embarrassing people outside. People are not going to like you. People are going to mark you as a bad person. And maybe in future, when you change from that bad behavior, they're still going to remember that you were the kind of person that embarrassed other people in public. And so you carry a stigma, a negative stigma about yourself all through your life, which may even affect your children, your family members, and other people that know you. Now, why would you want to put yourself through all of that? It is not necessary. So learn not to embarrass other people and laugh about it. Because think about it, if you were in their shoes and someone embarrassed you in public and laughed at you after embarrassing you, would you be happy? I know you know the answer to that question. Okay, so I'm going to go to point number 7. So point number 6 was never embarrass another person. If there's someone you have embarrassed before, now is a good time to take note of who that person is. And after this program, go and apologize to that person. Okay? All right. So we're gradually coming to the end of it, and we are at point number 7. Point number 7. And it is this: when refusing an invitation, be kind and honest. Now, there's some people where you invite them to come for an occasion, maybe a birthday or a celebration, right? Maybe one of your classmates is having his or her birthday, and they invite you to come over to their house. Now, it may be that you have, had something bad in your mind concerning that person, and you want to show them, right? You want to show them. And so you decide in your heart not to go to the party, or you will tell them, okay, I'll be at the party, and then you will not turn up. That is not good. That is not courteous. That is not kind. What you need to do is be truthful and tell the person, I am sorry, I will not be able to attend your party. That way, that person would know that for XYZ reason, you're not able to attend their party or their event, and they can extend that additional invitation to someone else. You see, when you put other people first instead of yourself, you tend to make the world a better place. You make provisions for other people. But when you think about me, myself, and I, and you do not think of other people, then you find out that you hurt other people's feelings quickly. So you don't want to be that person that people will invite to something or somewhere and you don't turn up. Or you tell them, I am going to come to your party at this time, and they have arranged everything and they have booked the venue for this time and they are waiting for you and you do not turn up. Whenever you're running late to an event, the courteous thing to do is to pick up the phone, call the person and let them know, I am so sorry, I am running a bit late. I should be there in another 10-15 minutes time. I hope it is okay. And then the person tells you yes or no. Typically, they would say yes. So these little acts of courtesy are things that can improve you as an individual and improve your relationship with other people. And by doing that, you're making this world a happier and better place to be in. Okay? So point number seven is this. When refusing an invitation, be kind and honest about it. Okay? All right then. So let's go to point number 8. Point number 8. And point number 8 is respect your elders. Respect your elders. Many of us do not respect our elders. You know, because of the way the human anatomy is, most times you have people who look alike. Like me, for instance. Many people think I am not my age. If I could tell you my age, you'll be like, wow, Lady Helen, you do not look your age at all. That is so true. But guess what? Many times people think I am still in my late 20s or early 30s, and I am way past that. So guess what happens? Many times people think that I am their age mate, and they may speak to me or behave to me in a way like they are behaving to their peers. Now, while they may not know my age, it is important that you respect everybody at all times, because you never can tell. I may be short and fat, and you may be tall and slim, but I may be older than you. But because you think you are taller than me, you feel that you can look down on me and talk to me in the way that is disrespectful. That is not nice. We must always respect our elders. We are taught in an environment where elders are meant to be respected, no matter the situation. So on your way to school, if you take public transportation and you see an elderly person standing up and you have a seat, the right thing for you to do is stand up and offer your seat to the elderly person. That way, you can incur a huge blessing just by the elderly person praying for you and thanking you, or maybe even giving you something to say, I appreciate your act of kindness. So wherever you are, you must always learn to respect your elders. Don't be that child that when the elderly person is talking to you or telling you to do something, you retort back to them and you tell them, oh no, I'm not going to do this. So if I don't do this, what are you going to do? You don't want to do that, because guess what? You know what they say about respect, right? Respect is reciprocal. So if you respect your elders, those who are younger than you are also going to respect you. Now, you do want to be respected, right? Okay, so I'll take it that your answer to that question was yes. So if you want to be respected, you have to respect other people. It's very, very important. And respect doesn't only have to come from the younger person to the older person. It can also be from the older person to the younger person. As long as you are kind and courteous, you will find out that you will not be disrespectful of anybody, be he or she young or old. You will automatically respect people. Okay? All right then. So point number 8 again is respect your elders. Don't talk back at your elders. Don't smack your lips at your elders. You know, smacking your lips is, don't do that. Disrespectful. When your elders tell you to do something, do it, especially when they're telling you to do the right thing. Do that right thing. Okay? Now, there are situations where you have elderly people telling you to do the wrong thing. Respectfully decline their request. Anything you do can be done with respect and courtesy. Okay? All right, so let's move to point number 9. Point number 9. And point number 9 is use good table manners. Table manners. You know, there are many of us that find ourselves in situations where we may not eat at a dining table, but whenever you find yourself in the midst of other people eating, be respectful of the fact that other people are there with you. When you eat, close your mouth. Don't chew with your mouth open. You want to chew, male or female, chew with your mouth closed. And you are going to even enjoy the food more. When you're eating, don't fill your mouth with food so that when you're chewing, you don't want to do that, right? Because that irritates some other people that are around you. Okay, and then I know that we have some foods where we have to use our hands, and those foods are best enjoyed when we use our hands, but you can be tidy about it. Okay, and then when you wash your hands, for instance, when you finish eating and you wash your hands, you don't do this. Some people rub it on their clothes. Look for a tissue paper and clean your hands with it. Okay, now doing that is being hygienic, and when you're hygienic, you're helping other people, and that's a way of showing courtesy as well, right? All right, so when you're at the table, be respectful. When you're eating, have good eating and table manners, because other people may be around you. They may not be at the table with you, they may be around you eating. Keep where you're eating, the environment you're eating, tidy. When you're eating, the table and the floor doesn't have to eat with you. So you have food dropping on the table, and then when that happens, clean it. Clean it immediately and be tidy. Okay? All right, so number 9 point is use good table manners. And now we have come to point number 10. Point number 10 is respect other people's properties. Many times we go to school and what we do is we take a pen or pencil and we write on the wall. Lady Helen was here. This, that, and the other. That is so wrong. You are not respecting the school's property. Many times we also break the chairs, we break the tables, we litter the floor and the environment. You see, when you do that, he is watching you. One day you are going to have your own house, you're going to have your own office, you're going to have your own building. How would you feel if other people disrespected your house, your building, or your office, and they wrote on the walls and they stained the walls, or they left the light on when they're not in the room, or they just, like many people do. You come to a place and you have paper and you just throw the paper on the floor instead of throwing the paper in the bin. When you do that, know that the law of karma is going to come and it's going to affect you eventually, because some people are going to also disrespect your property. And I know you don't want that to happen. So respect other people's property. When someone gives you an item to use, like students, I remember back in school when I was in secondary school as well, we would borrow each other's books or pencils or rulers or crayons or some other materials. What you want to do is take care of that material. Don't destroy it. Don't steal it. When someone gives you something, give it back to them. Whatever you do, he is watching, and nature has a way of paying you back, either good or bad. And I'm sure we don't want bad things to happen to us. So when we do things, let us know that whatever it is that you are doing to one person or your friend or your neighbor, the same thing is going to happen to you. And it may happen to you in a time when you did not expect it. And that is going to get you very, very upset. So Respect other people's properties. For those of you who borrow clothes, who borrow shoes, who borrow combs, who borrow whatever it is, treat it like it is your own and have the courtesy and kindness of returning it to the owner. Don't tell them, oh, I couldn't find that comb. I couldn't find that thing that you gave me. I'm so sorry, I've misplaced it. Some people will not even apologize, but you may not have misplaced it. You may have it in your house, but just because you don't want to return it to the owner, you tell the person you have misplaced it. That is not kind. That is a very wicked act, and you must not indulge in that kind of act. Okay? So, those are the 10 ways that you can show courtesy and kindness to each other. But guess what? I'm going to add point number 11. And point number 11 is this. Whenever you're talking, do not shout or yell. You know, I have noticed, especially amongst our people, that they are used to shouting when they are talking. You know, there are times I love to watch Yoruba movies here. And there are times when they are talking, I have to reduce the volume because this person is shouting and that person is shouting, and I'm not hearing anything anybody's saying but noise. So when you speak, especially if you're a lady, be audible, but do not shout or yell. Like, I have been speaking to you audibly, but I haven't been shouting. There's some people, when they speak, they have to yell. You know, and what is yelling? Yelling is speaking at the top of your voice with some form of anger. And when that happens, you know, when you frown, you age quickly, right? And that's why there's some people that I see that are all younger than me, but they look older than me. When they tell me their age, in fact, last Sunday, to be precise, a lady in church told me, oh, she's looking forward to her 40th birthday and that she can't wait. She's so excited and she thanks God. And I looked at her. I was like, whoa, she's yet to be 40. I look younger than her and I am way older than her. So again, the fact that people frown and they're always upset and you squeeze your face, and you know, you're aging yourself faster than you're supposed to. So when you speak, in order to show kindness and respect and be courteous, be audible and don't yell. Don't yell at your colleagues. Don't have a confrontational voice with whoever it is you are speaking with. Speak audibly and speak with respect. Okay? Well, on that note, I want to say thank you. One other thing. I think I want to say this for the ladies. For the ladies, point number 12. Point number 12 is when you sit down, you sit with your legs together. Now, there are many times I see women sit down and they're sitting with their legs open like they are men. No, you don't want to do that because you're not showing courtesy to the other people who are looking at you. They may be tempted, especially the people of the opposite sex, to look at you, and that's not right. As a lady, when you sit down, you sit with your legs closed or with your legs crossed. Okay? So that way you are respecting other people's boundaries. You're respecting other people so that they don't feel offended with the way that you sit down. And for my male counterparts, or my male students, those of you who are there now, when you have either a girlfriend or a female friend and you go out, show kindness, be courteous, and be respectful by opening the door for her. You know, people think it is not the right thing to do. It is absolutely the right thing to do. In fact, let me give you a secret. If you have been looking to ask a girl out and you do these simple things, you will endear her to you. And before you know it, she's going to say yes. But in saying yes, you both should not misbehave, especially if you are underaged. Caveat, okay? All right, so I hope that this has been helpful to all of you. I hope that you took a lot of notes. Pick 2 points out of everything that I have said and try and implement them. And see if it will not make your relationship with these people and people around you a lot better. Just pick 2 things and let us know how that goes. Okay, so before I say thank you and goodbye, I'm going to run through the points again. Point number 1. Point number 1 is show respect for others. Show respect for others. So for those of you who missed a point or 2, now is the time for you to write down. Point number 1, show respect for others. Point number 2, always apologize when you do something wrong. Always apologize for when you do something wrong. Point number 3, when someone is having a conversation, do not interrupt them. Point number 4, when you change your plans, let others know. Point number 5, respect the needs of others in public. Point number 6, never embarrass another person in public or in private. Point number 7, when refusing an invitation, be kind and honest. Point number 8, respect your elders. Point number 9, use good table manners. Point number 10, respect other people's property. And the 2 bonus that I had for you was point number 11, don't yell when you're speaking. Speak audibly and respectfully. Point number 12, for the females, when you sit down, sit with your legs closed and not opened. And for the males, when you go out, show courtesy and respect, especially to your female counterparts, by opening the door for them or even pulling the chair for them to sit down and you tuck them in. Well, this has been an interesting session. I am so happy that I had the opportunity to sow these seeds into your lives. And I hope that they are going to germinate beautiful fruits by you utilizing the information that you have gotten today at this program. Again, my name is Chinyere Helen Oluwatishemilore Njoku. It's been an absolute pleasure spending time with you, and I am so glad that I had this opportunity to share this information with you and be a blessing to you. I want to thank Victor Prince Dixon, my tweenie, and I want to also thank Nancy Oblate for organizing this program that is so helpful and needed in the secondary schools, the universities, and I must say, our society at large. We need to know and learn how to be kind, respectful, and courteous to each other. For when we do that, this world will be a better place. Well, you take care and continue to live, love, learn, and of course, earn. Have a wonderful day and enjoy the rest of the program.